Hello everyone, welcome back to another session with me. This is Sanyukta Saxena and this is our fourth session on the Dingsplatz special series wherein we are exploring different ways to adorn our Dingsplatz, a special string that we have drawn. We have learned how to draw. It's a very simple flowy string, but we can do a lot with the string by tangling, by choosing different kind of tangles to adorn it. Yeah, so let's get started with today's session. I'm going to again first start with the string right away. And for the string, again, keep a free hand. If you want, you can just, place your hand on the desk also. However, it's easier to draw this string if your hands are kind of free floating in the air, something like this. Yeah. And then I'm going to, well, you can do that exercise straight with your pen also. That's not a problem. So what I'm going to do today is probably first I'm going to just pen my string, and we are then going to add an aura as we always do. But we have not actually added anything inside that coffered aura till now. So we will today deck up the aura first and then try different angles. Right, so again, ink the string or draw the string with your pen straight away, so that's not an issue. Right, and now I'm going to add another aura just as we did previously. So I'm going to add kind of a coffered aura inside. Like this, and then I'm going to add the tangle wood inside it. So it's just a wavy line and then further auras inside it, like this. Yeah. So I'm going ahead and adding the tangle wood inside this coffered aura, which is nothing but draw a zigzag curvy line and then add further auras inside each of these sections. So do that exercise throughout at your own pace. Take your time. Right? So I'm going to do that for all slowly. Right, so I'm done with that exercise. Now I'm going to add another very close aura inside. Slowly keep it close, like this. And now let us draw some random lines cutting across, something like this. Right, if you want you can add some more, and then I'm going to draw a tangle called Bacchus, whatever you want to call it. Right, so it looks like a web. So I am adding an additional aura to the line that I have drawn. I'm going to ink it. You can also add a highlight there Probably we will do that with our chalk, or you can do that while inking. So going to the next layer now. Take your time. Slowly do that exercise. Again, the third layer. Right, so I'm going to continue like this. So I'm done with drawing my web. Yeah, and now I'm just redoing the lines from where I started. Like this. Right, now we are going to the outside. So one thing that I'm going to do here is add a similar aura all around my loops also, and add the same tangle wood inside them also. Like this, and then do the same exercise inside these sections also. All of them, yeah. Like this. So I'm still continuing to add the tangle wood inside my auras around the loops. Right, doing exactly the same tangle all around. You can choose any tangle. I think even Duda or Onomato or any other tangle, probably any border tangle will go well. So take your time, slowly add auras inside each of these curvy sections that you create. Take your time. Slowly do that exercise throughout. Yeah, so I'm on the last one now. So I'm done doing that exercise. Now inside these loops, I'm just going to draw a simple line and add, this is I think a fragment. Right, I'm just adding some curvy lines emanating from the central line on both sides, just like a leaf or a petal. Yeah, it's like the veins of a leaf. adding a simple fragment inside there, inside all. So go ahead and do the same exercise for all the sections. Give a slight curve to the lines. A simple fragment to draw. Looks just like a leaf, at times coffee bean. When you shade it, right? So that's our Dingsplatz. Now rest of the spaces, again it is up to us. How do we want to do? Fill it up with tangles. What do we want to do? So we have all kind of choices. Choose any tangle, filler tangle, or any other tangle that you feel like. I'm adding another close aura before I go ahead and tangle on the outside of my Dingsplatz. So slowly add another aura, go around, just as we did in the inside. Kind of keeps your tangles clearly visible, demarcated from each other. Of course, you don't, if you want them to fuse and get lost in each other, that's a different take altogether. At times it is really nice to transition from one to the other, but I guess for this string it would be nice to kind of keep the Dingsplatz a little discreet from the other tangles. Now the rest of the spaces, just go with any tangle you like. I'm going to go with a tangle called Jetties, a very simple tangle to draw. Draw some orbs and draw just like a cricket ball. Add two bands inside, a band inside with auras, right? So I'm going to do that, a couple of them, and the rest of the space you can always use some filler tangles, mukas, tipples, caviars, whatever you feel like. I'm drawing behind here. You may not have sufficient space to accommodate too many of them, so whatever you have, again drawing behind here. It's always a good idea to ink in very small little spaces. It always adds to the look, right? So these spaces you can either go ahead and add some tipple, or you can ink it. We don't have much inking yet on the tile, so it's a good idea to add some nice black ink there. Try leaving minimum gap between jetties. Try to leave minimum possible space for inking. Draw behind. Take your time. It's a simple tangle to draw. One of the first few taught to any beginner, and yet adds a lot of drama when shaded. So I'm going to do that throughout. You take your time. So I'm almost done drawing my jetties in whatever spaces I have. Right? You can draw as many as you wish. If you want to fill up the entire space, that's your choice. I'm not going to go till the edge of the tile. I'm leaving some spaces blank. And now going back and adding some ink. Take your time, do that exercise throughout. Right? So it's always a good idea to insert one or two tipples here and there. Looks more organic. And some bit of blacks here and there. Right? So just go at your own pace. Find those gaps in between intersectices. Wherever you want to squeeze in an orb, do that. And I think we are done. Right? Now inside these bands generally we ink, right? But since we have inking outside, so now we will not ink. We will just add some orbs. Or you can add any other tangle of your choice. For example, Duda, for example, something like this zigzag, the way we draw. Any tangle of your choice, yeah? So many of them. I'm squeezing these orbs, not really drawing complete orbs, but trying to squeeze in, just like we do for pork. Yeah. So I will slowly go to each and do that exercise. You draw at your own pace. Draw these squeezed orbs in each of these bands that we have made. Right? So I'm done doing that exercise, added orbs inside each of the bands of my jetties, and now let us move ahead and shade, and then we shall see if we want to add something else. We can do that later also. Yeah. So as far as shading the inside web is concerned, we have to shade on both sides of the line, of the grid line that we started with. So we will shade each of these triangular sections, but in a way that we leave a highlight in the center. That's what will give it a depth. Right? So again, spaces are small, so we have to be mindful of how much we are blending. Right? So blend, but don't blend too much. Leave a white highlight in the center. something like this. Yes. Again blend. So this tangle is called fracas, or you can call it web. They are quite similar, probably just the directions of the line differ. And as I mentioned, you can also add a highlight while drawing the lines, or alternatively you can just add some chalk after you have shaded. Both will give the same kind of an effect. Right? So you can see the depth that shading adds. And then comes these coffered pipes all around your Dingsplatz need to be shaded like a border. So again, the spaces are very small, so just touch your graphite pencil, don't blend too much. Keep it to the edges. Yeah, and then I'm just going to blur the graphite without spreading it too much. Just sticking to the edges, not really pulling out the graphite, trying to leave a white straight line, white gap inside. Yeah, same here, all around. So take your time and do that exercise slowly throughout. As far as the inner fragment is concerned, just darken one side. Like this. Yeah. And the jetties, again, I'm going to shade on one side. Take your time. Just keep the shading to about 1/2. We skipped one small one here. For this, what is already there on your stub is sufficient. Yeah, so that's how we are going to shade all. Yeah, so I'm still continuing with my shading. Just the way I mentioned, it's a good idea to shade overlaps. So spaces are small, make sure your whites are also visible. As far as the fragment is concerned, you just have to darken one side. Take your time. Yeah. So patiently shade each of the jetties, the fragment. It's nice to highlight the overlaps. Don't add too much because spaces are small. Take the graphite to about half of your jetties. And that's about it. I think we have shaded all. Yes, now if you want, you can use your white chalk and highlight some of the areas where you have not added graphite, probably second half of the fragment, like this. Although it is already white, the white chalk will add a little more zen, highlight it a little more. A good idea to add a white line here, just like a highlight. So I'm pressing the chalk hard. Like this. If you want, you can just go around here also. Not a bad idea. Just like a shimmer, just like a highlight running through the center. I think we have not blended here. So spaces are small, so you don't have to blend too much. But make sure you have done the basic blending, otherwise the graphite will not look nice. And then there is already a highlight here, but if you want, you can add a little bit of chalk. Like this. The jetties also, if you want, you can add a little of highlight on the other side, but it's already white, so there's not much of a need as such. Just brush off the excess chalk if it is looking cakey. And that's about it. I don't think we need anything else. If you want, you can add some bit of caviars or pearls here and there. That's about it. You don't need anything else. Yeah, that's it. So let us close our tile now. So I'm just going to put in my chop. And sign and date the tile. Today is 10. Right? If you want to put in a comment, please do that. I shall see you again with some more sessions on this exciting string Dingsplatz. Till then, have a good time. Bye-bye.